All right, so in 4.2, we're going to start figuring out how we can use angles in a triangle. We're going to look at angle sum theorem, which you guys have seen before. Just angle sum theorem sounds like a fancy way to say it, as well as exterior angle theorem, which is probably something a little new, but it's definitely something you can do. So I want to find the measure of the missing angles, and the missing angles are the two right here, and I'm going to call them x. Now, the key part to this one especially is we need to know the angle sum theorem. The angle sum theorem says that the sum of the interior angles is 180 degrees. Any triangle always has three angles that add up to 180 degrees. So let's go ahead and add them up. Set them equal 180. So 2x plus 146 equals 180. I'm going to subtract and get 2x equals, that gets us 34. So x is 17. And in this case it's degrees because x is the measure of an angle. So let's take a look at this. Three angles of a triangle are in the ratio of 4, 5, and 6. What's the measure of the angles? So when we're doing this, what we want to do is I'm just going to get a triangle here so we can label it. Anytime you see a ratio, and this means anytime, regardless of what the problem is, there's always going to be an x attached to each one. So let's call this angle 4x, this angle 5x, this angle 6x. What the 4 to 5 to 6 means is the angles are some multiple of 4 to 5 to 6. It could be 4, 5, 6, it could be 8, 10, 12, or so on, all the way up to where they add up to 180. And that's the key, is I know that regardless of what they are, they're going to add up to 180. And 4 plus 5 plus 6 is 15. So 15x equals 180. I'm going to divide by 15. And you get x is 12. Now, a lot of people stop at x is 12. What is the measure of each angle? So the measure of the angles, let's plug them back in. 4 times 12, 48 degrees. 5 times 12 is 60 degrees. And 6 times 12, 72 degrees. Now, let's go ahead and start working on this one. And I've got the exterior angle theorem covered up with that box. So we could try it first, then look at the shortcut. So I have three angles in the triangle. I don't know that one. But I know that 60 plus 80 plus x equals 180, and 140 plus x equals 180. So I'm just solving for the angle that's next to angle 1, and I get that that angle right there is 40 degrees. Now that's important because if I look at it and I trace over it, try my best to draw straight lines, x and angle 1 make a linear pair. So the measure of angle 1 is 180 minus 40, or 140. Now, I already heard the number 140 earlier in this problem. It was over here. What's special about that are these two angles here, 80 and 60. The two interior angles that are not touching an exterior angle add up to that exterior angle. So let's delete this box. The exterior angle is an exterior angle of a triangle like angle 1. It's equal to the sum of the two, they call them remote interior angles. Basically, it's the other two that are on the opposite side, complete opposite end. So let's go ahead and try this. I've got a picture that's going to have a lot of different angles together. We're going to try and fit all of them in and find all of them. So take a minute to draw this picture because this is going to be way easier if it's on your paper already. I noticed this left-hand side is already that picture. We just cut out part of it and put it over there to intro. So I already know angle 1 is 140 because 60 plus 80 add up to 140. When I look at 1 and 2, they're a linear pair. 40 plus 140 equals 180. Now what I need to do is I need to use this 105 and the 40 to add up to angle 3. I know that angle 2 and angle 3 are interior angles and they add up to this exterior angle 105. And so angle 3 has to equal 65. We'll write it out here. Now look at angle 4 and angle 10 and the angle that's 105. They're adjacent. They make a straight line. They're a linear pair. That one's going to be 75 degrees. And looking at just this right-hand triangle with this one exterior angle, I know 40 plus 75 has to equal angle 5. So angle 5 is 40 plus 75, or 115. So as we're going through these pictures are going to get a little bit bigger, and we're going to have to start using all of these properties. Triangles adding up to 180, exterior angle theorem, as well as linear pairs, adjacent angles, vertical angles, complementary angles. We're going to start putting all of them together so that we can practice differentiating one from the other.